Teddy Maxwell is fine.
I'd do anything for the opportunity to style him.
Tiff, if you ever go before him, please don't go looking like a plain Jane. Ow.
Teddy, you can't keep having these one-night stands with these random women and expect to keep a clean image. What you need is a long-term woman by your side. You're Mrs. Claus.
No, 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 no!
They're doubling the rent come January. I'm gonna be selling clothes out of my car. I really need a Christmas miracle. Boutique de ma mère.
Hello, this is Teddy Maxwell's manager. We'd love for you to be his stylist.
You want me to style the Teddy Maxwell?
Yes.
You don't think it's weird that they chose me? Excuse me. Out of all of the stylists out there?
This is where I cut the line. She's plain.
She's exactly what you need. She's the one that's gonna help your image.
You going like that?
Look who's coming in hot. Tiffany's going viral.
Oh.
Their outfits are so last season. She looks like a broke auntie. Excuse me?
I don't understand how people can be so cruel. She's literally the sweetest woman I know. It's the first time I felt like somebody looked past my celebrity and seen me for me.
Your album sales are increasing. Project Change Teddy's Playboy image is working.
Cole, I told you this was over.
Teddy and his momager needed to clean up his Playboy persona. They played you, boo.
You need to fix this.
I styled and stupidly fell for a certain R&B singer. I'm Tiffany Ford, a designer deserving of respect and love.
I can't wait to catch his ass.
I don't even know why y'all are the ones even throwing the party.
It's not every year that your husband makes it to the championships games, girl.
I see you watching me with those eyes. But how do we know when to draw the line?
What did I tell you about getting out of pocket?
How bad is the damage this time? This is too much.
I'm taking my boys.
No! I said no!
And moving. If we don't leave, then I'm afraid that I won't live to see my boys grow up.
I tell you.
Now it's my time.
I pray that you protect my boys and that you give them strength to get through this. Grant me peace and happiness in my life.
You can follow me. Our programs are designed to help rebuild your life and confidence as well. You're safe here.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Let me just tell you how excited I am just about life. I'm so glad you're here, number one. If this is your first time joining me, go all the way back, watch the other master classes, share this with your family, your friends, anyone who's in the creative space, who wants to learn, who wants to be inspired. I love these master classes, and we do them only right here, okay? So I'm Tressa Azarel Smallwood. If you don't know me already, welcome, welcome, welcome. Each time we do these master classes, we pick a particular topic to focus on. If this is your first time, go back and watch the other ones, okay? Now, I'm really excited about this topic because I've been outside. Okay. And I don't like going outside, but I go outside. And over the last 3 weeks, I've been in a lot of spaces where the topic of today, how to pitch, right? To network executives, to production companies, to producers, people like me. Um, you got to know how to read the room. You got to know when to make a connection. This is like an informal, like just introducing yourself. It's like a soft way to pitch, right? And then there is official pitches where you're in front of someone or on, on some sort of Zoom Teams meeting, and you're being able to show your assets. So I want to talk about just pitching in general. Now, I will tell you this. I want you to write this down too, because this is the most important part about this process. It varies across the board. So whatever information I'm sharing with you, just know that it could vary in certain situations, right? And so we're going to kick it off with um, pitching at different levels. What does that mean? Sometimes you are pitching at a high level, right? And you are pitching to big network, big entity, big streamer, where you might come in as the creative, you might come in as the producer, somebody on that team. And they may not be, if they don't have a relationship with you, somebody else might come into the mix and they will be in a higher position and have more creative control. Your job when you're pitching is just to understand, what do you need to have when you either go in the room in person, or whether you see someone out, if it's a soft pitch, whatever it is, you've got to know just some basics, okay? And I want to talk about what some of those basics are right now. So number one, you have to have confidence when you're pitching. And this means whether you're pitching at a higher level, you're pitching mid-level, maybe you're even pitching to investors and you're going to produce your own project. It's still a pitch, because you're basically, giving them, and you're giving them some insight into who you are. And people want to work with people who are confident that you know what you're talking about. So before you decide to pitch, you have to know your story. Okay, you have to know your story in and out. That's where the confidence comes in. Do you know your characters? Any question that they throw at you, you can't get hit with the curveball and you don't know what to say. What if they ask you something related to the finances? What if they ask you something about, where do you plan to shoot? Do they have tax credits in that city, state where you want to shoot? You have to be knowledgeable. So, I see a lot of people out here rushing, and when they get the opportunity to pitch something to me personally, and I start asking questions, they don't know the answers. So for me, when I go in the room to pitch, I'm going in fully prepared. And you're going to do yourself a disservice if, let's say, you get the right opportunity to pitch the person that you've been thinking about for a long time, and you go into the room, or you get on that Teams meeting, you get on that Zoom, you see the faces, and then they start asking you questions, and then you freeze because you're not knowledgeable enough. You don't know the answers. So make sure that you are well versed in what you're talking about, what you're going to say about your project. Have you talked about any potential directors? Have you thought about any potential cast? And think about cast for each level. Again, when you pitch, sometimes you're pitching to high, the top people. Sometimes you're mid-level. The cast is going to change every time you go to a different level. Okay. And so you have to be prepared at every level. So I want you to think about this. So I'm going to go back to the top, and I'm going to just focus on for a minute. If you're pitching high level, right? Pitching high level, you go into certain places. Let's say you have a show, and this actually happened to me. So I want to really share an experience that happened. I got a meeting at Netflix, created this show, went in to talk to them about the show. They were actually really kind, because I went in without some information, and I thought I knew everything about my story. I was ready for every question that could possibly come my way. And they said, are you a WGA writer? And I said, no. He said, well, here you can't be the show's creator. You can't be the showrunner. You can't, because you're not WGA. Now that is at a higher level. That same conversation would not happen at some other streamers. So again, that's why I go back to there are many variables to the rules of pitching, what can happen when you get in the room based on what the situation is. Obviously at Megamind, you all, I'm sure you've heard my story before about the fact that we finance our films, and we can kind of call the shots on a lot of the things that we do because we self-finance, and then we go back and we license these products, the product out to platforms. And so you can watch a lot of our shows, our movies on these platforms, but we had full creative control. And so our pitching process was slightly different. We were not originally pitching in the pre-production stages to networks. What we did was we pitched to investors and we pitched to agents for casts. Okay. So pitching, again, is a very generalized term. When you hear pitching, you have to start learning all of it. And I will tell you, our 20, 30 minutes that we get to spend together when we're doing these master classes, you're never going to master it all in just this short time. So you always have to take the information that I'm sharing and go back and learn some more, right? If you don't know about my mentorship program, you need to send a message in the chat. You can DM me on my Instagram page. I typically respond there and just say, I want to hear about your mentorship program. But there, obviously, we get deeper. We talk more about these topics. When we're here in these master classes and I give you this information, I want you to do some homework, do your due diligence, go and read further about this. But the reason why pitching is so important is because it's the one thing that's going to get, somebody's attention about you, right? When you show up to pitch and they start talking to you, they're going to get a vibe. They're like, do I like this person? Okay. Does it seem like we have some good energy here? Is this somebody I would like to work with? Is this somebody that I would like to talk to a little bit more to find out if we like their show, if we like their movie, if we like their idea? What is this? And this is across the board, whether it is unscripted, whether it is scripted, it doesn't matter. The idea of pitching is universal, and there are many, many different ways to pitch. I want to touch on something because I just thought about it. So I went to an event last night. My team is so efficient. I don't know, they might throw some pictures up on the screen. But it's the Ebony 100 event where 100 people were honored in different categories in the entertainment industry, social justice. It's a lot of really, really good stuff. I'm from Maryland. Governor Moore was honored. Really, 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 really love seeing other people get their flowers. But obviously in a room like that, I'm going to do some soft pitching and some people are going to soft pitch to me, right? And so it's a really good lesson for you just because this is something that is current. So a lot of the people that I saw who are at the executive level and I pitch projects to them, it's like, hey, how you doing? Haven't seen you in a while. You look amazing. What's going on? Soft pitching. That's a form of pitching. Am I going to say, hey, I want to read you my log line and read you my synopsis? No, that's not what happens when you're kind of, moving around. You're at networking events. You're soft pitching. And so a question came up. What do you congratulations on your new Christmas movie that just came out on BET. Thank you so much. I have a couple of other projects. Let me know when you have some free time because I'd like to get on your schedule. I'll email your assistant. Now, did you see wasn't that an amazing pitch, if I must say so myself? I didn't say, give me your phone number. I didn't say I'm going to contact you because executives are very, very busy. But we're going to have a meeting now where I can further the pitch, right? And I can talk about my project that I want to pitch to that specific network executive. Okay. Now I'm going to give you another idea. There were some people in the room who introduced themselves to me. Some people did it in a very classy way. They were like, hey, how are you? Love your dress. I've been reading a lot about you. I'm proud of your success. I would love to join your team as a writer. I have some projects. That was great. Let me give you Juline's email address. Set up a time to get on my schedule. I can't wait to see what you have. Done. Right? Done. There was somebody else that I met, really sweet, sweet person, just wrong timing, where they pitched about a family member. They were doing a biopic, and they were telling me all about this family member and why they wanted to do this story. I'm a family girl. They were telling me about their grandma. I love my grandma. So, of course, my heart is listen, but then there's also you taking pictures, other people are walking up to you. So, just wrong timing. So, sometimes you've got to just look at the timing. So, if you're going to film festivals, if you are going to any event where you're seeking knowledge and it's an industry event, just watch your timing about speaking to people. What you should do is try to figure out how to get on their schedule at a later date. And the pitching, the what I call the elevator pitch, is really introducing yourself and making sure you can get on their calendar for later. Okay. So the next thing that I want to talk about is pitching to your investors, right? If you are a production company, if you are a producer, even a writer looking to produce your own project, you're probably going to pitch a lot to producers and investors, right? And so to do that, you're going to need your pitch deck, your full pitch deck. And with your pitch deck, you're typically, when you have the conversation, you're going to have a visual up to be able to go through and take your time. Keyword is take your time, because if you're asking someone to either put their money up, or you're asking a producer to come on board with you, which means they're putting their name on the line. They want to see, what is this all about, right? And so in your pitch deck, you're going to have your log line, your synopsis, your potential cast or your cast wish list. If you have anybody already attached, you would say that. Talk about what the plot points are, why this story, why should we do this, what are the comps, is this Love Jones meets Sylvie's Love, what is this movie, just so we know. Spend the time developing and putting all of that information there. Also, if someone is going to put up their money, again, if a producer is going to sign on, if cast is going to sign on, they're looking for some qualified individuals to be in that deck. Okay. Sometimes we'll have filmmakers come and ask us to help them finance a project, or that we can be involved as Megamind. The first thing I do is I go to look to see who's involved, because that tells me if we're going to be successful. Because we're in a season where everybody wants to make movies, TV series, etc., but they don't want to do the work. They just want to do it fast and throw it together. And so a lot of people are actually losing money right now, which is why you're here, so that you don't lose money, so that you spend the time watching not only this masterclass, but all of the other ones. Knowledge is power. And with pitching comes, you got to have the knowledge to pitch, because when you know what you're talking about, then you're not going to be afraid. You open your mouth and you ask for what you want, and you typically get what you want when you know what you're talking about. Okay. All right. So want to hop on over to pitching online, right? What does that look like if you're pitching online? Let's say you snag a meeting with a Peacock executive, a Hulu executive, a BET executive, and you get an opportunity to get online with them. Again, have that pitch deck ready. But now you have to think about, what does this network produce? What type of projects do they produce? Because now you have to speak their language in this pitch meeting. The projects that are on Netflix are very different than the projects that are on BET or that are on All Black, right? The projects that are on Hulu are very different than the projects that are probably as a Tubi original. All projects are different because all platforms, all streamers are different. They have a certain demographic that they're catering to. They have certain budgets. If you don't learn this information and you don't study this information, it's challenging to pitch the right way, right? Because pitching is not just let me do this, let me do that, let me do that, and I'm ready. It is getting your mind wrapped around what does the client or streamer or network executive want? What do they need? And what do I have to fill that void? Okay. The other thing is, if you're going in the room to pitch to someone, know who you're talking to, know something about them. I don't ever get on the phone with an executive without doing some research. I'm going to look at how long they've been with the company. Where were they prior to that? I'm looking at what projects have they been involved with. You know, did they green light this project and a movie that I've watched? Did they green light this TV series? And I go watch it. Watch it. I'm telling you, these are the tips and strategies that will help you stand out. I can remember going into a meeting with an executive, and when they got on and they started talking about these new projects, I said, "Yeah, I watched that already." They said, "Oh, you did?" I couldn't believe that. It was kind of a shock because that's what you should do, right? You have to research. It shows that you're taking the time. It shows that you care. You, as a producer, as a creative, if you're going to create TV series, movies, etc., and you want quality work, you have to pay attention to the details. And it all starts in the beginning stages, when you're in the pre-development stages of figuring out what is this project that I'm going to eventually shoot. Whatever the project is in the very beginning, is probably going to morph into something slightly different later on, when all of the creatives who have the authority to make tweaks and to give contributions, it's going to change. Filmmaking is a collaborative effort. It is a lot of people with a lot of minds. That's why my company name is Make a Mind, right? I know y'all like, why are you telling us this right now? But I think it's just important for you to know. Make a mind. Okay. It's a lot of great minds. All that you see happening with me, with my company, it is a family effort. It is a lot of people, a lot of great producers, a lot of folks pulling together to give insight, but we're all studying. We're all great at our craft. Okay. And so, what I want you to do when you start thinking about pitching, I want you to say, okay, let me go down the list. Okay. And I'm going to give you all a checklist. Okay. I want you to go down the list and make sure that you're doing a lot of these things before you pitch. So, the first thing that I want you to do is I want you to demonstrate confidence. Okay. Practice, right? You can literally get on your phone and practice pitching. You can get on your computer, set up a Zoom chat, and you're the only one that logs in. But practice. Confidence comes with practicing. Okay. Right. So demonstrating confidence is the first one. Okay. We're gonna just label practice as our number two. Okay, so that you don't even get it confused. I want you to practice, okay, constantly. You can, if you practice better with some other person, find somebody in your family or find a friend and say, like, I need you to work with me. Okay. The third thing that I want you to do to prepare for a great pitch is I want you to prepare your materials properly. Prepare your materials properly. That is your pitch deck. That's making sure you have your character breakdown so you know who your characters are. That is just perfecting all your story arcs. These are all your materials that you need before you pitch. Now, keep in mind, as I shared in the beginning, pitching can be verbal sometimes. Pitching can be, that's the first phase. At some point, if you start with a verbal pitch, and you're just meeting somebody out and about, that's going to morph into an official pitch anyway. Sometimes you're starting right at the official pitching stage where you have to have these materials ready. Okay. So you need to be ready. Okay. The fourth thing that I want you to talk about is making sure you are engaging. You are engaging when you pitch. That means you are not going to bore anybody to death. You have to read the room, right? I remember we were pitching a comedy one time to a gentleman, and we were on a Zoom, And, a comedy's supposed to make you laugh. The person was like this. You got to read the room. So instead of going on and on and on, you pause. And it's, do you have any questions? I could go on. Or I absolutely have something else as well in another genre. And that one opportunity where I realized, read the room, they said, yeah, I'm also looking for some thrillers. We pitched a thriller and they said, you know what? That's the one that I want to see. I would like to see the treatment on that. They didn't say I want to see the screenplay. They said, I would like to see the treatment, which means, again, having all of your appropriate materials. Okay. I teach a lot of this, again, over on the mentorship side. You definitely need to make sure you go and look at some of the sessions about having the right package for networks or for production companies, because you'll know what the complete package looks like. Okay. All right. So the next thing is timing. Talk about timing when pitching. Typically, you will know your time block based on the appointment that the network executive, the production company, or the producer has given you. If they've given you a 30-minute time block, then you have to make sure that you are pacing yourself so that you can get everything out before they have to hop to another meeting. Okay. If they've given you an hour block, which is not normal, then they really want to know about this project. Okay. But always think about your timing. If you have 15 minutes scheduled for them, you already know you got to give them this information. You got to ask the right questions and make sure that you're prepared. The next thing I want to say is develop a list of questions that you want to ask. Okay. Those questions can be anything. Again, they vary. Every situation is going to vary. Sometimes when I'm in the room or when I'm talking to someone, I'm asking questions like, what are your budgets? Are you looking for anything else this year? Or are you looking for something next year? Are you on your 2026 schedule right now? Are there certain talent? Is there certain talent that you're thinking about? What caliber of talent are you looking for? You got to ask these questions, but you have to know what questions to ask. Okay. The last thing that I would like to share, and this is really, really important, ask them about next steps. And you don't use those words, but you find a way to morph into next steps. It is, okay, should I send you the treatment on this and then follow up with you 2 or 3 weeks? Or should I wait for you or your assistant to ask the question so that you're not, trying to figure this out? And the reason why that's so important is because of number 8, the last thing, follow up. Follow up after pitching, follow up. Okay. But you cannot, let's not annoy people. All right. That could make you lose the deal. So your number 7 is going to help you understand what the follow-up process will be in number 8. Yep. Because it can make you, make or break the deal. I love it. I love it. So y'all, this was good. Of course, I always like to give you just small chunks of information so you can process, take notes. Again, make sure you're following me on all platforms. If you go to my Instagram, CEO Azarel, say hello, let me know what you thought about this masterclass. Do you want to see more of them? Go back, watch the replays. And let's just start working together to gain more knowledge, okay? Sharing knowledge is the key, y'all. It is the key. All right. Thank you so much.
Now that Thanksgiving is behind us, we can all focus on my favorite time of the year.
I can only guess.
Christmas!
I gotta be honest, as of today, I'm selling Rich Family Haven. And the deal is gonna be done day after Christmas.
Do you realize that closing the Haven will displace a lot of families?
We're gonna have to cancel Aspen.
You can not do this to me. What are we gonna do to convince my daddy to change his mind about Christmas?
I am her mother and she has summoned me. I'm here to save you, darling.
Daddy has canceled our trip to Aspen, and it's my year to host the annual white party, and I just have to be there, Snooki.
Okay.
I have a plan. Remember when you told me about that safe in your dad's office?
Woo! Aspen!
You could spend the next 30 days working and living at New Haven, or you could spend the next 30 days in jail.
I just need to go to my suite.
You must be Valerie. My apologies, Miss Rich.
Ooh, you should get that checked.
You know, I said I wouldn't let you get to me, but you are a spoiled, ungrateful, narcissistic Grinch who stole Christmas brat.
This has been lots of fun, but I really must go.
You have the opportunity to brighten the holidays and encourage the residents while you're here.
Teddy Maxwell is fine.
I'd do anything for the opportunity to style him.
Tiff, if you ever go before him, please don't go looking like a plain Jane. Ow.
Teddy, you can't keep having these one-night stands with these random women and expect a clean image. What you need is a long-term woman by your side. You're Mrs. Claus.
No, 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 no! They're doubling the rent come January. I'm gonna be selling clothes out of my car. I really need a Christmas miracle. Boutique de ma mère.
Hello, this is Teddy Maxwell's manager. We'd love for you to be his stylist.
You want me to style the Teddy Maxwell?
Yes.
You don't think it's weird that they chose me? Excuse me. Out of all of the stylists out there?
This is where I cut the line. She's plain.
She's exactly what you need. She's the one that's gonna help your image.
You going like that?
Look who's coming in hot. Tiffany's going viral.
Oh.
Their outfits are so last season. She looks like a broke auntie. Excuse me?
I don't understand how people can be so cruel. She's literally the sweetest woman I know. It's the first time I felt like somebody's looked past my celebrity and seen me for me.
Your album sales are increasing. Project Change Teddy's Playboy image is working.
Cole, I told you this was over.
Teddy and his momager needed to clean up his Playboy persona. They played you, boo.
You need to fix this.
I styled and stupidly fell for a certain R&B singer. I'm Tiffany Ford, a designer deserving of respect and love.
I can't wait to catch his ass. Come on!